Oh. Got some things to talk about today. Well, a little bit. Something caught my eye. I looked on Eurogamer's thing, and they're doing this charity for trans lifeline type thing. Now, I don't care what charity, I don't care what anybody does, but I just want to throw out my opinion about how people use certain types of people to gain favor with channels or with money or whatever it is. And by the way, that, it doesn't matter what you do. This is just an opinionated type thing. I don't care who comes on my streams. I don't dedicate to fucking just one specific type of thing. I notice that some YouTubers love to do that. They love to dedicate themselves to one thing and try to pull people in. And how emotionally disturbed some people might be that have YouTube channels, which is fucking hilarious. Like, these people are filthy fucking rich or have a lot of money. They're like, oh, I'm depressed and blah, blah, blah. So, it's another thing is that having luxury doesn't mean that you're not depressed. Having luxury doesn't mean that you can't commit a suicide attempt. People, I see this so much. It drives me crazy. And it's like, I always look at myself as, how am I so mentally strong and so mentally prepared, but I have fucking the bare minimums? I don't have a car. I don't even have my own place in that. And these people have this luxury of having this stuff. So it comes down to asking myself this. Why am I so different compared to most people that have way more luxury than me? I'll answer that question for myself and for my viewers or whoever's going to be viewing this. Because I'm emotionally sound. Okay? I don't just blur out emotions. I control them to a certain aspect. I use them smart, I guess. But people that tend to do this sort of thing, and it's fine. Is there anything wrong with it? In some respect, you're talking about a very tiny micro percent of people. And that's fine. But what about everybody else? This is the biggest problem I have. I always say, we're all in this together. So when people start fucking cutting all these different kinds of people and these fucking situational things, and also you cut everybody up and you diverse them in the sexualities, the races, and all that stuff, how does that even work? Does it? Do you want to be cut up? Or do you want to be everybody? We're different, but we're the same. We're a human race. Human. We're all human. And these people do that stuff. They're emotionally entwined with this. And some channels, YouTube channels, whatever type of social media type things, they want to cut things up to pull favor. Like, oh, I'll take the gay community. They're emotionally unsound. Are they? No. There's a lot of strong, developed gay people that don't get into politics like some of them do. I was talking to one of my coworkers. I would suggest he's a friend. To a very, we talk about a lot of things together. And we talked about it. And I said, people like to be followers, like to be part of a trend because they're lost. They don't understand who they are, more or less what they're doing. So they tend to follow things that are emotionally attached to. So if they're gay or they're black or if they're white or if they're straight or whatever the fuck people want to identify themselves with, they want to follow it because they feel part of it. I mean, is it a bad thing? No, not necessarily. But you're still lost. The whole point is to find yourself, not to follow everything else around. Because if you get caught in a situation, which I've seen this enough and everybody has, victimization, you go right to that. You don't like me because I'm gay. You don't like me because I'm a woman. You don't like me because I'm black. You don't like me because I'm white. No, you fucked up. You did something wrong that affected others. So if you're at a workplace and you don't work and you're saying, well, you're doing that because of my color. No, I'm doing that because of you. What you did. Martin Luther King stated out very fucking simple. I don't know how the fuck people don't understand that. Doesn't fucking matter. It's the character. That who you are, what you do matters more than anything else. Sexuality, color, whatever. It's what you do. So when you go to that, it's a defensive mechanism to say, I don't want to get better. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. That's why I'm sound compared to most people. They're lost. Even with millions of dollars behind their name. They're lost. Super lost. They're like, well, I have money. I have friends. They start looking for these ways. But do you really like yourself? Or you just use those distractions to develop yourself? People do. And you talk about how people talk and that. People don't like speaking the truth. People are scared to talk about like sexuality, which is a huge thing that people don't like to talk about. Because sexuality leads with emotional. They're scared. I talk about it with people at work. I'm like, why are you scared? Well, I'm not scared of it. Then why aren't you talking about it? Well, because they'll make up an excuse. I'm like, it's not talking about me doing anything. It's relating to the whole subject altogether. Same thing with being, we're just emotional altogether. And when you throw out your emotions because something slightly bothers you and you have to react to it, like an instinct. Animals do that. We have big brains, okay? We don't need to fucking instinctually just start attacking everything. We think. So one lady at work, she's one of the, I don't think she's the less like manager. This just kind of the things that she does sometimes are not liked as much. So where she uses excuses to say that she doesn't get shit done at work. Well, people do that. I see it. You're definitely not the only one out there that doesn't see this shit. But the excuses are very, very ridiculous. Like literally making up shit. Or using something that is a problem and amplifying it and saying it's a big problem. So one of the things this person does, she smokes a lot. Okay, she smokes a lot. Like she'll take like multiple smoke breaks throughout the whole entire day. And people that smoke are like, well, you have to understand what? That you're addicted to a fucking drug? That's a narcotic. You're addicted to a narcotic. Doesn't matter if it's illegal or not. It's still something that you're addicted to that's getting in the way of what you do. And there's multiple people that smoke at work. And they only take maybe a break here and there. And the reason why is because this person is so addicted to narcotics, which is pills, pain pills, nicotine, weed, anything like that. They're so addicted to that pain relief, that they need it all the time because their brain does not create the chemicals to be able to balance it out. The same thing is with drinking. Having a little bit of anything is good. Anything to relax the nerves, but you also have to rely on what your brain makes to relax you. How you think relaxes you. I always say people are lost. They always think about all this negative stuff. They always think about all these things that really, they fucking destroy themselves. So like one of the things that a child does. I know, but talk about a child. Someone that is young that doesn't know much of anything. What happens when you blame a child for something? How do they react? Most of them make up excuses for the problem to try to not feel, this is what it is, feeling bad about what they did. Older people do that enormously a lot. So what's the difference between a 5-year-old and a fucking 45-year-old? Other than that, a 45-year-old's body's fully developed, their brains are fully developed, but they still act like a 5-year-old when it comes down to that. You're wrong. Just do it right. You didn't do that in time. Well, do it in time. Does it make you feel bad? Yeah, but you look forward as it's a learning experience. Holy shit, people. Learning comes with failure. That's why you see massively successful people, because they bite that bullet to say, I'm done being afraid of being wrong. Let's just be more right. Let's do things better. Instead of just victimizing and making up excuses for my life. It's like you're going backwards instead of forwards, and people do that. They live in the past. They bounce back and forth between present and past, but they never actually move their mind forward, as in learning from experience to be better. The easiest thing to do is just admit that you're wrong for something small. Say, like, I dropped something. You left it there. Say your parents or your loved one comes up and says, well, who dropped that? And then they look at you like, did you drop that? All you have to say is, yeah, I dropped it. I just forgot about it. Next time, I won't forget about it. Or it's simple as that. People don't do that. They're all like, I don't know who dropped it. I hear that a lot. My dad's like that. He'll sit there and he'll do something like, I didn't do anything. Maybe it was me, as in myself. He'll blame it on me. I'm like, I'm downstairs. I don't even go upstairs half the time. I stay downstairs. I mean, when you came upstairs, you did it. Maybe you just admit that you fucking did it, okay? It's very easy. And the biggest thing is, when you don't admit to something that you do, your brain creates guiltiness about it. Because consciously we are positive creatures, but some people don't know how to stay positive. Our brains and conscious go back to that positive way, but for some reason our thoughts make us go to the negative way also. That's what victimization is. You're negatively inclining yourself to think that nothing's wrong with you. How can you fix something that you don't think that's broken? We do it every day. We fix shit every day. When shit breaks, we fix it so it works. It's simple. It's simple matters. When something's broken, you fix it. So if you're broken, as in you're wrong, fix it to be right. I mean, you don't need to do it in front of people. I mean, be more or less if you did, because it makes you healthier mentally. So anyway, talking about what I'm thinking about what Eurogamer's doing in their live stream about the trans community. They don't talk about anybody else but gays. Not all. They never ever talk, even though one of them's married to a dude, as in the female, and the guy is married to a woman. And one of them is just not in a relationship at all, but she claims that she's bi. We're all a little bi, okay? You watch porn, you like watching dick go in pussy? You still like watching the dick go inside the pussy. You're bi, you like it. Just because you don't like the cock in your fucking mouth doesn't mean that it doesn't excite you when you see it go inside something else. That means you're slightly bi. You care about it, it gets you excited. And if you see girls on girls, and yeah, more or less if you like that better, then more or less you're more of a straight type person. But who gives a shit? Bi, gay, trans, who cares? If that's what you want to do, then do it. If that's who you are, then be it. The trans community is like deciding if they want, just like a bi. The bis are deciding if they want to be either or. Just decide already. Because you're confusing your mind. Your brain's getting confused, and that's what makes you fucking depressed, because you haven't made a fucking decision yet. If you don't make decisions, you can't be the person you want to be. You're lost in between it. You're like a fucking yo-yo you're going up and down. You don't know how to stay down or stay up. That's a huge problem. And you could tell that they're depressed. You could tell that they have anxiety, mass anxiety. They care about how people think about them because they haven't decided who they are yet. Just decide. Please, just I decide. I've been through the experience. I dated a girl, I dated a guy, I like girls better. I decided that I want fucking women. The people that are like that don't decide. I've been like that. I decided my fucking self. That's why I am who I am. That's why I love myself. I didn't sit there and be like, well, I don't know who I like both, but I haven't decided already. You're an older woman or older man. Until you do that, you're not going to be the person you need to be. Or that you want to be. Oh. And it's funny. Be who you are. That's it. It's pretty simple. If you like video games, be part of the video game community. If you like dancing, be part of the dance community. If you like talking about shit like me and try to understand the world around us, be part of understanding community. If you feel like you need a friend, someone to talk to, there's nothing wrong with that. But love yourself first before you start to love the community that you're excited about. Because no one cares more about you than you. You should care about yourself a lot. I've been through it. I used to think about everybody else, which is the reason why I know so much. But I love myself enough to where when I think about other people, I use it as a learning experience. So when I see something that's wrong, I put it in a database in my brain to understand why there's a problem. And then I figure it out. And I see it all the time. I see so much of it. For instance, one of the ladies at work, she's my assistant GM. And I know something about her personality. The way she talks. She, not the way she talks, but what she talks about. When you say something about her, she like automatically explains in specific detail about what's going on. And she does a lot over the smallest stuff. If I say she does something wrong, or if I like do it, like instinctually she'll have to say something. I caught her. I'm like, why do you have to explain stuff in detail over something small like me saying something that you probably did wrong, but it's not like I care that you did it wrong, but a statement like, oh, you forgot to put this sandwich in a bag. You're missing a single cheeseburger. You're missing a double. And she'll explain in various detail about why I didn't go in there. Yeah, I just stated that it's not in there. You could just give me another one instead of just wasting time explaining. You know what that is? When you do something wrong, you feel guilty over that. So you have to explain why it happened to make yourself feel good. It has nothing to do with explaining towards me why it happened. It has something to make you feel better because you did something wrong. Well, if you did something wrong, just do it right. All you have to say is, okay, I'll make another one. And consciously get over that little kid thing that kids do. I'm being serious. People don't grow past a fucking childlike mind in some standards. In some ways, they don't. I used to be like this, but I'm not like this as much. And it grows and grows and grows. And sometimes I just don't even give a shit because I know the outcome of it. I know when a mistake happens that you just fix it. If you're consciously struggling with a mistake, as in anything that's a mistake, and try to make it not a mistake with your words, oh no, that's fine. You can talk about it, but just can I have that cheeseburger now instead of you just constantly you're defeating the purpose. Is it hard to do? Yeah, because our conscience feels guilty over doing stuff that is wrong. Always feels guilty. And we all experience it. When someone tells us no about something, especially about something we want to do, what happens? We feel guilty. We feel like we want to tell them, like, you know, you can go fuck off because I want to do what I want to do. But if you don't say nothing, that expression becomes depression, and then you start feeling bad for it. And sometimes you don't say stuff. If you can control yourself and you know that it doesn't matter, you're going to do it anyway. So it doesn't matter if you tell that person or not. Or if it's something small. Say, like, from my experience, because I still live with my parents. My dad tells me what to do because he wants me to do stuff and help him out with little things. But he doesn't respect the things that I do. So he's consciously just wanting to do things he wants to do. So right there is not respecting me, only thinking that everyone should respect him. Because he has this, like, money thing going on where if you talk about all the things that you use, like, okay, for instance, you talk about problems. And you talk about these problems that he'll keep going down this list of things that he does. And at the end of it, because he makes the most money in the house, he does this thing where he'll just sit there at the very end. He'll be like, well, I make all the money. You could just leave. And he's threatened me multiple times to kick me out of the house, even though I'm just talking about my own personal experience with him, trying to tell him how I feel. But he literally doesn't care, or he's scared of the emotion itself. And there's a lot of people out there that do that. Probably not ridiculous a lot, but you could see every 10 or 20 people, there's always at least one or two that have that similar kind of, you know, emotional outcome. They believe there's something that they're not. And that is a big, big problem in society. And it's confusing because I used to be like that, but now I turn to a more positive side to do things I want to do. Like, I've been wanting to make a YouTube channel for multiple years, if not the last decade, to express myself, to understand myself more by pretty much talking to myself, but talking to everybody and anybody that watches it. Because I used to talk to myself a lot about these things. So why not just broadcast it to the world? Because if you want to listen, you might as well listen to something that is, well, morally right in some way or another. Now, I don't know if I'll get people on here and be like, well, it's just a belief. I'm like, well, it's not belief. It's literally experience, which is knowledge. I've been through this, so I know. People do the belief thing a lot. Well, it's just your opinion. It's not opinion if it's knowledge, which means there's evidence and proof of understanding it. So it means that I'm right and you are wrong. Going back to my manager, the assistant GM, we get a little tussle sometimes about just communication, that we talk about things. And, like, she brought up some things about political, and political is fucking ridiculous. People that get all political in that, they always choose that. I don't choose either or. I look at the positive. I look at the actual truth of why things happen. And yes, it is about polls and, you know, how people, you know, think about things. Ugh. And one thing she talks about, she talked about it in very small detail, which I hate when people do that. You gotta go in specific detail to understand it. She said this. She talked about the stimulus bill, the stimulus check stuff, when Trump was in. And she doesn't understand that Trump did it because we were at the beginning of the pandemic, okay? So at the beginning of the pandemic, we had, 2.5 months, 3 months of lockdown. He gave us money until the end of the year. Okay, and he did that, you know, for various reasons, to maybe get polls, the favor, the people, so he can, look better as a president. But something needs to be done, because most people weren't working. And this is one of the things that she talked about. I said most people were working. They say, well, fast food people working. Fast food's a very small majority of fucking work. And not everybody at fast food was working, because a lot of them got fired or got, they couldn't work. Because there wasn't enough people buying stuff for them to make money to pay their employees. Economics, come on, let's learn economics. How the fuck you not know marketing? That you should know how money flows. If you don't make enough, you can't have employees to fucking work them. It's very simple. So when we talked about that, she got upset and say she kept bringing up fast food, saying, well, fast food, like, not everyone works at fast food. There's tens of thousands of jobs that have nothing to do with fast food at all. Nothing. And we talked about that, and she wouldn't listen to me. She has a problem with believing that she's right. Well, there you go right there. You believe that you're right. But you can't believe you're right. You can just believe in that situation. You have to know that you are right. Knowing as in knowledge, as in evidence and proof. Well, if you don't listen to someone that can express evidence, you'll never learn to begin with. You'll never learn actually what happens at all. You're just going to just keep on thinking it's belief. Or it's just your opinion. No, it's not opinion, it's knowledge. It's knowing something. Opinion is a thought of something. I think it's like this. I state the reasonings and evidence behind that. So as we went through this, we talked about the stimulus thing, and I was trying to explain to her, in detail about why it happened when it happened, and she was stating that Biden kept on prolonging it, but people blame him for the stimulus thing. They don't blame him for the stimulus. They blame him that he prolonged the stimulus because people need to go back to work. He made people stay home because they're getting paid more. That's what the problem was. I admit, when Trump did it, I understand. Should he prolong it? No, he shouldn't have prolonged it, but he did. But it was supposed to stop so everyone could go back to work. So, like, the conversation, like, she wouldn't listen to anything that I said. She just kept on saying the same thing over and over again. And I was getting upset, and I stopped talking because she was listening to me. And honestly, if she would have said something, why aren't you talking? I'd be like, because you're not shutting up. You're not listening. Sometimes it's best to shut the fuck up and listen to people, because you'd be surprised how much you don't know. And that's a personality trait that most people, that the people that have it. Sometimes it's best just to listen. So I stopped and I listened to her, and a lot of it was just repeat. And one of the other guys there, he's very intelligent in that. And, like, he was talking about with her and that. And, like, still, you don't shut up and fucking listen. It's very irritating. Someone with mass knowledge like myself knows how to learn, not just sit there and just be like, trying to prove a point. Fuck the point. Have knowledge. Just fucking know it. Okay? Just know why it happened. Our minds like to just do that circle jerk thing. We like to just keep thinking about, I know I'm right. I know I'm right. But when I'm wrong, oh, hell no, I can't be wrong because I believe. There's your problem right there. You believe. It's a fucking thought that you think that you're right. But you're not right. If you're proving that you're fucking wrong, what happens? You retaliate. You make up excuses why you're wrong. Well, I didn't hear it all the way. Or, oh, no, I heard something different from someone else, and maybe they were wrong. No, you are wrong. Okay? Let's just put it like that. You are wrong. Just be right. Just listen to people that have more knowledge than you. That's how you learn. You learn based upon what you see and research yourself, or what is right to what people say. It's very easy. But no, people got these feelings. They're all, emotionally bound. They have to attack everything because they believe. I believe in myself to know stuff. Okay? It's pretty simple. That's all it is. And people can argue with it. Arguing's good, or conversational stuff's good. It makes you know more about how a person is, acting, or more, well, not less acting, or how they're thinking, or how, they emotionally are. But you still have to listen. You still have to listen to people to understand that person. Because then you might learn something from them. If you think you already know, then you're far behind on how learning works. Very far behind. And it's not even just with that. This lady, and I like her. She's a very beautiful lady and that, but she has this way of constantly being right, but she's not right all the time. Just like I'm not right all the time. But how I think about how people should be. We're all in this together. We shouldn't be separating each other. We should be loving each other and caring for each other, because that's what humans do. That's why we're called mankind. We're supposed to be generous towards everybody, not picking and selecting certain groups of people to be that. And blaming the other side. Like, a lot of gays blame straights. Not every gay person's like you. And not every straight person's like that straight guy that looked at you and says, "Well, you keep staring at me." Because there's a lot of people that are straight that are actually gay. Or they have the gay intentions. If you love yourself, you're comfortable with who you are, why does it matter if a gay guy flirts around with you? Or he says, "Well, I appreciate that you're attracted to me, but I'm not gay." Instead of being like, "Don't talk to me because you want to put your finger in my butt." And it's you thinking that. And the gay person's like, look at you like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, I know how you gay guys are." But that's the problem. You don't know shit about that individual person, so you identify it as being bad because you are the one that's assuming it. I've been down that road. And say, well, if you want to experience it, take it in the ass once. Experience it. Get over with it. I did. I didn't like it, so I don't care. I know how it feels, but it sucks. Dude, I mean, I don't think a lot of guys would do that. Fuck no. Most guys would be, oh, God. But yeah, people need to just stop dividing each other and just start being one fucking race of human beings. Not separate because of gender, because of sexuality, or because of even race. Because at the end of the day, we all eat, shit, piss, sleep, love, all these things we all do. So does it make us similar? Yes, it does. Now, how we think could be obviously different. That's by culture, by, who you see in that. But that's the learning experience. So you keep on doing it. You learn from everybody, so just being selective. So for Eurogamer, the YouTubers, stop being so selective. I know you support the gay community, but you have 2 people out of the 3 that are married to the opposite sex. So how can you say that you're part of the gay community when you guys are not even gay? I mean, if you think that about yourself, that's fine. But that's not how I see it as a person that watches your stuff. I see that you got 2 straight people and a person that's confused as fuck, not knowing who she wants to be with. And that's what bi means. You're confused between both parties. Yeah, if it's me, okay, well, if you get mad, whatever. But that's how I see it. That's how most people do see it. So, accept everybody in, not just a few. Because that makes you fucking... Does that make you racist? or sexist? 100% yes it does. Just because you're in the minority that takes control of that doesn't mean it's not sexist to just like gay guys or to like the gay community when you have the straight community. And it makes you fucking sexist, doesn't it? Oh, no, it's because I'm gay, I can't be sexist. No, it's sexist means that you only tribute to one sexuality or whatever it might be, which is the gay community. Does it make you a bad person? No, you're just selecting one over others. But is it still sexist? That's what sexist means. That you take one thing over another when you could just do both. I feel bad for Ian. Ian's straight or bi or whatever the fuck people think they are. And all they do is talk about the gay community when he has a wife and that. And I'm just like, it has to bother him because he can't talk about his own sexuality. And he can't. It doesn't seem like it. I never, ever, ever heard him ever talk about his own sexuality. It's always the two girls. Even so, always talk about their sexuality. Always talk about that stuff, but he doesn't. Honestly, he needs to get some balls. Get some big, hefty man balls and talk about it. It seems like he's pretty lost himself. Not saying he's not a bad guy. These people are not bad people. But you can see kind of where I'm going at, where they need to stop selecting and just be part of everything. That's all it ever is. And I need to take a huge piss. So I'm going to end this stream because I really got to pee. Hope you guys have a good day, morning, whatever, what time.